What happens when I text my husband to come pick me up from a club, and he answers me with papers in a public lobby instead? How did one fun night turn into a legal plan that starts the same day? Why did I still call him the villain when the result landed in my hands, in front of witnesses? My name is Merricat Blackwood, but most people call me Merri. I was 34, and I knew how to make a room look at me. I worked as an event coordinator at a hotel, so I understood timing. I understood music, light, and faces. I also understood people's weak spots. I told myself that was just skill. That Friday, I came home late from a vendor meeting. Caleb was in the kitchen. He stood by the sink like he always did, shoulders still, hands busy. He asked how my day went. I said it was long and full of problems. He asked if I ate. I said I was fine. He offered to warm leftovers. I said I did not want anything. He watched me in that quiet way, like he was reading a report. I hated that look. It made me feel small, like I was being graded. I told myself he did it on purpose. I told myself he wanted me to feel guilty for having a life outside him. Caleb said he was taking Lila to her friend's birthday the next day. I said I had work. He asked if I could come later. I said the hotel needed me. He asked what time I would be home. I said I did not know. He nodded, and that calm nod made me angry. I went upstairs. Lila was asleep. Her hair was spread on the pillow like a fan. I stood in the doorway, and for a second my throat felt tight. Then my phone buzzed. Dani, my sister, had sent me a video from a club downtown. She asked if I remembered the place. I said yes, and I said I missed being fun. Dani told me I was not old and not trapped. She told me Caleb acted like my father, not my husband. She asked why I still tried so hard for a man who gave me nothing back. I said he gave me a house and rules. I said I wanted more than rules. In the bathroom, I looked at my face in the mirror. I told myself I deserved attention. I told myself I had carried the marriage. Caleb worked and came home and stayed steady. He thought that was love. To me, it felt like a closed door. The next evening, Dani and Nina picked me up. I told Caleb I was going out for one drink after a work week. He asked who with. I said friends. He asked if I could be home before midnight. I said he was not my manager. He said he was only asking. I said he was always asking. In the car, Dani laughed and said Caleb needed to loosen up. Nina said we should not post too much. I said Caleb did not own my face. I said respect follows results, and I had results. It sounded smart in my mouth. The club was loud and full. The door staff waved us in like we belonged there. The lights were pink and blue, and everyone looked better in that light. I could feel my shoulders drop. I could breathe again. Then I saw Trent. He was near the DJ booth, wearing a simple black shirt like it was a costume he never took off. He turned when he heard my laugh, like he had been waiting for it. He came close and asked what brought me there. I said I was tired of being good all the time. He said he missed my energy. I said I missed feeling wanted. Dani made a face like she was proud. Nina looked unsure but stayed. Trent offered to buy us drinks. I said I could buy my own, but I let him do it anyway. It felt like a trophy. We stood near the edge of the dance floor. Trent leaned in to talk because you had to in that noise. He asked how married life was. I said it was a routine. He asked if I was happy. I said happiness was not one person's job. He said I deserved fun. I told myself he was right. I knew what it looked like. I knew how people would read it. That was part of it. I was tired of being invisible to the person who promised to see me. On the smoking patio, the air was cold and the city sounded far away. I held my phone up and stared at Caleb's name. My thumb hovered like I was about to step off a ledge. Dani asked what I was doing. I said I was making him act like a husband. I texted Caleb that I was at the club with Trent and he should come pick me up. I told myself it was about safety. I told myself I did not want to take a ride with someone drunk. I did not say the real reason out loud, not even to myself. I wanted him to see it. I wanted him to feel it. I posted a short clip. I did not show Trent's face too clearly, but you could tell it was him if you knew. I added a song, because songs make everything feel less real. Dani said it was perfect. Nina said it might be messy. I said messy was honest. Back inside, the crowd moved like one body. Trent took my hand and pulled me closer to the center. I let him. I laughed too loud. I lifted my chin like I was on a stage. I saw phones rise around us, little screens catching pieces of my life. Then I saw Caleb. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. He was not storming in. He was not shouting. He was not grabbing my arm. He stood near a pillar by the side, like a man waiting for an elevator. His face was pale under the club lights. He looked older in that moment. He looked tired. He walked over, slow and careful. He asked if I was ready to go. I said I was having fun. He asked if I needed help. I said I was not a child. He looked at Trent and asked if Trent had been drinking. Trent said he was working. Caleb nodded once, like he filed it away. I wanted Caleb to explode. I wanted him to prove my story. I wanted to point and say, "See, he is controlling." But he did not give me that. Dani stepped between us and told Caleb to chill. Nina told me we should go before it got worse. Caleb asked again if I wanted a ride home. I said yes, like he owed me. I took Trent's hand for one last second before I left, just to make sure Caleb saw it. In the car, Caleb drove with both hands on the wheel. The city light slid across his face. He asked why I did that. I said he never listens, unless I get dramatic. He asked if I was trying to hurt him. I said I was trying to be seen. He said he came because I asked. I said he came because he wanted to control the story. At home, the house felt too quiet after the club. Caleb walked to the kitchen and rinsed his hands. I followed him like I was still performing. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. He asked if Trent touched me. I said he was acting jealous. He said he was asking because he cared. I said caring should not feel like a cage. I noticed 2 mugs on the counter, not side by side. Mine was near the stove. His was near the sink. It looked like a line down the middle. Caleb dried his mug and put it away without looking at me. His phone buzzed on the counter. I saw a calendar reminder flash for a second. It said, downtown 9:10 a.m. Another alert followed right after. Simple words, paper drop. He turned the phone face down like it was nothing. I went upstairs and took off my shoes. My feet hurt. My head still beat with music. Caleb did not come up right away. I heard a drawer click somewhere downstairs. I told myself he was being dramatic again, like always. In bed, I scrolled through my post. New views, a few laughing reactions. One person had tagged me and written something about brave. I smiled, even though my stomach felt strange. I told myself I had won that night. I told myself Caleb needed to learn. I told myself Trent was just a reminder of who I used to be. And I told myself, again and again, that I was still a good person. At work on Monday, I walked into the hotel like nothing happened. I wore my best blazer. I used the calm smile I saved for guests who complained. The lobby smelled like coffee and lemon polish. I told myself I was professional. I told myself my personal life was not anyone's business. Nina was already at the front desk. She looked at my face for 1 extra second. She asked if I was tired. I said I had a busy weekend. She glanced at my phone in my hand, and I knew she had seen something online. I told myself it did not matter. People always looked. In the staff hallway, 2 banquet servers stopped talking when I passed. I heard my name, then silence. I felt heat rise in my chest, but I kept walking. I told myself they were jealous. I told myself I was the one with a life. I opened my office laptop and started checking emails. My calendar was full. A bride had changed her seating plan again. A vendor wanted a new deposit date. These things were real. These things made me feel in control. Then my manager, Sheila, sent me a message and asked me to come by. She did not use emojis like she usually did. That made my stomach tighten. In her office, Sheila kept her voice even. She said someone had brought a social media post to her attention. She asked if I was connected to it. I said it was my private account. She asked if the hotel name appeared in the background of one clip. I said the hotel sign was in the city and not my fault. She asked if I understood how it could affect the brand. I said I did not think a short clip mattered. Sheila asked if everything at home was stable. I said my husband was overreacting to harmless things. I said he could be controlling. I watched her face as I said it. I wanted her to lean toward me, not away from me. I wanted her to see me as a victim who still showed up to work. Sheila said HR wanted to speak with me for a quick check-in. She said it was routine when personal posts caused noise. I said people should mind their own lives. Sheila told me to keep it professional and not involve co-workers. I said I never did. When I left her office, my hands were cold. I walked fast, like speed could protect me. In the break room, someone's phone was on the table with my video paused on the screen. The image showed me under club lights, laughing too wide. I did not know who had left it there. I acted like I did not notice. In the restroom, I stared at myself in the mirror. I told myself I was still right. I told myself Caleb forced this. If he was not so stiff, I would not need to push. That was how my mind worked then. I still think that was the cleanest story. At lunch, Nina asked if I wanted to eat together. I said yes because I needed an ally. We sat near the loading dock where it was quieter. Nina asked if Caleb was mad. I said he acted calm, which was worse. Nina asked what I meant. I said calm could be a mask. I said calm could hide control. I made my voice soft when I said it, like I was sharing a secret. Nina asked if I was still talking to Trent. I said Trent was just part of my past. I said it was not fair that my past kept being used against me. Nina said people were talking. I said people would always talk, and that was why I had to control the story first. That evening, Dani wanted to meet at a diner. She said we needed to laugh about the weekend. I agreed because I needed the air, and I needed to hear my own version out loud again. The diner was bright and tired at the same time. The waitress looked like she had seen every kind of mess. Dani slid into the booth and asked if Caleb had punished me. I said he had sulked. Dani asked if he yelled. I said he did not, and I said that was part of the problem. Dani said he was trying to look like a saint. I said he wanted everyone to think I was crazy. Nina came too, but she sat on the edge of the conversation. Dani told me I should post more, so people would see I was fine. Nina said it could make things worse at work. I said work could not tell me how to live. Dani said Caleb needed to learn I was not scared. I said I was not scared. I told them Caleb had shown up at the club like he owned me. Dani asked if he followed me. I said he might have. Nina reminded me that I had texted him to pick me up. I said I did that for safety. I said I did not want to be alone at night. Dani said that was smart. Nina did not look convinced, but she did not argue. On the way home, I checked my phone and saw comments under my post. Some were laughing, some were judgmental. One person wrote that my husband looked broken. I felt annoyed, like they were insulting my success. I told myself Caleb was fine. He was a grown man. He could handle a little embarrassment. At home, the house felt different. It was not loud. It was not warm. Caleb was in the living room with Lila. They were building something with blocks. Lila looked up and smiled, then looked down again. Caleb asked how my day went. I said work was stressful because people loved gossip. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and I said he should stop acting like I was fragile. Later, when Lila went to bed, Caleb stood in the kitchen again. He asked if I had talked about him at work. I said I only explained that he was being dramatic. He asked what I meant by dramatic. I said he was turning one night into a crisis. He asked if I would take the post down. I said he wanted to control me. He said he did not want control, he wanted respect. I said, respect follows results. And I said, I was tired of being graded. He did not raise his voice. He did not slam anything. He nodded once and wiped the counter. That calm made me feel like I was shouting into a wall. I wanted him to react so I could point at it. I went upstairs and noticed the guest room door was closed. I had left it open that morning. I listened for a second. I heard a soft beep, like a phone starting and stopping. I told myself it was a timer. I told myself it was a silly app. Still, my skin prickled. In our bedroom, I saw Caleb's pillow looked untouched. I looked at the clock and realized he had not come up. When I went back downstairs, the guest bed looked slightly disturbed, like someone had rested there without fully sleeping. On the dresser was a neat stack of folded shirts. Caleb had never folded like that. His phone was on the kitchen counter. The screen lit up for a moment with a missed call. The caller name was not a name. It was an emoji, a small, simple icon with no meaning to me. The phone went dark again before I could stare too long. I told myself it was work. I told myself it was nothing. When Caleb passed me to go to the guest room, he asked if I could keep things calm for Lila this week. I said he was the one making it tense. He said Lila needed routine. I said I knew that. He nodded again, and he closed the door without a fight. I stood in the kitchen alone and listened to the house settle. I told myself he was doing this to punish me. I told myself I deserved better than silent punishment. Then I opened my phone and scrolled my post again, like it was proof that I still had power. The community hall smelled like coffee, plastic tablecloths, and old wood. The fundraiser was for the local park, so everyone acted like they were kind people. That night, kindness felt like another costume. I wore a fitted dress and heels that made me taller. I told myself I was doing it for the cause. I knew I was doing it for eyes. Caleb came because I told him to come. He asked if I wanted him there. I said yes, because a husband should show up. He asked if I wanted to arrive together. I said it would look better. He agreed. He always agreed when it was about public things. That used to comfort me. Now it annoyed me. In the car, he drove slow and careful. He asked if we could keep it calm tonight. I said I was not the one who made scenes. He asked what that meant. I said he knew what I meant. He did not push. He just nodded once, like he put my words on a shelf. When we walked in, people waved. Some of them were parents from Lila's school. Some were vendors I knew from work. I saw a woman I once trained with at the hotel. I saw her glance at my face and then at Caleb's. Her eyes stayed on us a little too long. Dani was already inside with two of her friends. She lifted her phone like a greeting. She asked if I was ready to have fun. I said yes. Nina came a few minutes later and looked unsure. She asked if the hotel would hear about this. I said the hotel did not own my weekends. Nina said she was only asking. I said she could relax. The hall was crowded. People stood near the silent auction tables, holding small plates of cake. A man tested a microphone near the stage and made it squeal. Kids ran between chairs until their parents pulled them back. The noise felt warm. I liked it because warm noise can hide cold truths. Caleb went to help set up extra chairs without being asked. I noticed it and felt irritated. He looked good doing helpful things. It made him look stable. I needed him to look like the problem. I needed my story to have weight. When it was time for speeches, Dani pulled me toward the front. She said we should sit where everyone could see us. I sat, and I crossed my legs slowly, like I had all the time in the world. Caleb sat beside me, but not too close. That space made me angry, like he was already making a line. A volunteer asked for a few short words from community members. Dani whispered that I should go up. I smiled and stood. I told myself I was brave. I told myself I had a voice. On stage, I held the microphone with one hand and waved with the other. I saw phones lift in the crowd. Some people always filmed. I felt a rush, like heat under my skin. I talked about the park and the kids and how community mattered. It was easy. Then I turned it into something else without saying I would. I said husbands should support their wives. I said some men acted like being calm meant being right. I said sometimes a woman had to get loud just to be heard. People laughed at the right spots. I glanced at Caleb while I spoke. He did not look away. He did not smile. He did not frown. He looked neutral, like a man watching weather. After I stepped down, Dani hugged me and said I was perfect. Nina asked if I meant what I said. I said I meant every word. I told myself that was true. I wanted it to be true. During the auction, I walked around with my head high. People patted my shoulder and said I spoke well. One woman asked if things were okay at home. I said Caleb had been weird lately. I said he was trying to make me feel guilty for being social. The woman nodded like she understood. That made me feel powerful. Then I saw Trent. He stood near the side wall, talking to someone I did not know. He looked like he belonged everywhere. When he saw me, he smiled in a slow way that felt private. My stomach flipped, and I told myself it was normal. I told myself it was proof I still had options. He walked over and asked how I was. I said I was busy and shining. He said he saw my clip from the club. I asked why he watched it. He said people sent it around. He said I looked happy. I said I was. Caleb was across the room, helping an older man carry a box of raffle tickets. He looked over, and I knew he saw Trent. I held Trent's gaze longer than I needed to. I wanted Caleb to feel small. I wanted him to feel replaceable. Trent asked if I wanted to step outside for air. I said I could not, because people needed me inside. That was half true. I did not want to be alone with Trent here. I wanted the public version of him, the one that made me look chosen. Dani came up and asked Trent if he could take a photo with us. He agreed. Nina said we should not. Dani laughed and said it was only a photo. I stood between Dani and Trent and leaned slightly toward him. Caleb was in the background of the room, not in the picture. That felt like a win. After the photo, Trent asked if Caleb still acted like a teacher. I said he acted like he owned correct behavior. Trent said some men used calm as a weapon. I liked hearing that. It fed my story. I did not ask if Trent really believed it. I only cared that it matched what I needed. Later, Caleb came to stand beside me. He asked if I was enjoying the night. I said yes. He asked if Trent was here for the fundraiser. I said Trent supported local causes. Caleb said he was glad for the park. His voice stayed even. That made me want to push harder. Dani started a toast near the dessert table. She lifted her cup and told everyone to cheer for strong women who do not shrink. People clapped. Someone started filming again. Dani asked Caleb to say something. She asked if he could finally admit I was right about needing freedom. Caleb said he hoped the fundraiser went well, and he hoped the park got what it needed. Dani pushed and asked about marriage. Caleb said tonight was not the place. Dani laughed like he was scared. I laughed too, louder than I needed to. A few people looked uncomfortable. I told myself they were uncomfortable because they were used to women staying quiet. I told myself I was doing a public service. When it got late, Caleb asked if we could go. I said we could stay a little longer. He asked if Lila's bedtime mattered to me. I said Lila was fine at home with my mum tonight. Caleb asked when my mum picked her up. I said earlier. He nodded again, like he saved the time. As we walked out, I saw him check his phone. The screen showed a message thread with the title, Follow Up. He turned it away when he saw my eyes. I asked what it was. He said it was errands. I said he was acting secretive. He said he was trying to stay organized. Outside, the air was cold. The parking lot lights made everything look flat and harsh. In the car, I waited for him to accuse me. I wanted him to call me names. I wanted him to prove my story again. He asked if I was trying to embarrass him. I said he embarrassed himself by being stiff. He asked if I wanted to stay married. I said he always made it dramatic. He said he was asking a simple question. I said simple questions could be traps. At home, he did not follow me upstairs. I heard him in the kitchen. There was a low hum for a moment, like a shredder or a small machine. Then it stopped. I stood on the stairs and listened. I told myself it was nothing, but my chest felt tight anyway. In bed, I opened my phone and saw the fundraiser photo already posted by Dani. I saw comments from people I barely knew. I saw one comment that said Caleb looked patient. I hated that word. Patient sounded like right. I stared at the screen until my eyes hurt. Then a message came from a number I did not have saved. It was a screenshot of my club clip, with a short note under it saying my husband looked done. I told myself it was just gossip. I told myself I could still steer this. I held the phone close and listened to the quiet downstairs, like the quiet was learning my name. The next morning, I woke up with a dry mouth and a sharp little anger that sat behind my eyes. I saw the message from the unknown number again. It was still there, like a stain you could not scrub out. I told myself it was just someone trying to stir drama. I told myself I was the kind of woman who did not get shaken by strangers. Caleb was already downstairs. I could hear the soft clink of a spoon in a mug. When I came into the kitchen, I saw two mugs again, far apart. His mug was near the sink. Mine was near the stove. It looked like he had placed them that way on purpose. He asked if I slept. I said I slept fine. He asked if I saw what Dani posted. I said Dani was proud of me. He said the comments were getting mean. I said the comments showed who had weak minds. He asked if I could stop adding fuel. I said he was the one acting cold and making people guess. He did not argue. He asked if I could do school pickup that day because he had an inspection. I said I had a schedule too. He said he would make it work if I could not. The way he said it made me feel replaced, like he did not need me. At the hotel, I tried to focus on work. I checked flower orders. I answered 3 emails. I wrote a timeline for a wedding, but my phone kept buzzing with little updates. Dani kept sending me screenshots. She said people were finally seeing Caleb for what he was. She said I should not back down. During a break, I went to the pharmacy inside the grocery plaza to pick up allergy medicine for Lila. The line was slow. A woman behind me stared at my phone screen when it lit up. I angled it away, but I could still feel her eyes. When I reached the counter, the cashier asked my last name and paused a beat too long. I told myself I was imagining it. I told myself I was important, and important people got watched. In the afternoon, I drove to the school pickup line. The cars crawled forward like a tired parade. Parents stood near their trunks and made small talk. I waved at one mom I knew, and she gave me a tight smile. I hated that smile more than an insult. When Lila came out, she walked slower than usual. She got into the back seat and buckled herself. She asked why Dad did not come. I said Dad was busy. She asked if Dad was mad. I said Dad was just stressed. She asked why Dad slept in the other room. I told her he was being dramatic and needed space. Then she asked if we were still a team. For a second, I did not have my usual quick answer. Her voice was small, like she was asking about the weather. I felt something pinch in my chest, but I pushed it down. I told her we were fine and adults had grown-up problems. She said she did not like grown-up problems. I told her she did not have to think about it. At home, Lila went straight to the living room and sat with her coloring book. She did not ask for a snack right away. That worried me, but I turned it into anger because anger was easier. Caleb came home before dinner. He asked how pickup went. I said the other parents were acting weird. He asked what I meant. I said people were judging me for living. He asked what Lila said in the car. I told him she was fine. He looked past me toward Lila. He asked Lila if she wanted to help make pasta. Lila nodded without looking up. Caleb asked if she wanted the small pot or the big pot. She picked the small pot. He spoke to her like her choices mattered. That made me feel irritated, like he was being the hero on purpose. After dinner, Caleb asked if we could talk for 5 minutes. I said we always talked and nothing changed. He said he wanted to keep adult fights away from Lila. I told him we did not fight. We discussed. He said Lila was asking questions. I said kids asked questions about everything. He asked if I could stop posting things that brought attention to our home. I said he was trying to silence me again. He said he did not want silence. He wanted peace. I said peace was what men asked for when they did not want to face truth. He said truth was not the same as public humiliation. I told him he was overreacting and acting like a victim. He took a slow breath and said he would not argue in circles. He asked if we could agree on a simple rule: no talking about Trent in front of Lila. I said Trent was not part of Lila's life. Caleb said Trent was part of the noise around the house. I said Caleb was making noise by acting hurt. I went upstairs first. I texted Dani and told her Caleb was playing the calm card again. Dani wrote back that calm men were the scariest because they plan things. I rolled my eyes, but the word planned stayed stuck in my head. That night, Dani invited me to her apartment. She said Mum was coming too. She said we needed a family plan. I drove over after Lila fell asleep. Dani's living room smelled like hairspray and sweet candles. Pamela sat on the couch with her purse on her lap, like she was ready for battle. She asked if Caleb had apologized yet. I said no. Dani asked if he begged. I said he acted calm and reasonable, like I was the unstable one. Pamela said men used calm to control the room. Dani agreed and said I should record him so people could see how he pushed. I told them he did not push with words. I said he pushed with silence and disappointment. Pamela said disappointment was a weapon. Howard called during our talk. He asked what we were doing. I said we were supporting family. He asked if Lila was home asleep. I said yes. He told me to stop turning my marriage into a group project. I said he did not understand what it was like to be a woman with needs. He sighed and said needs were not excuses. When I came home, the house was dark except for a light under the guest room door. I walked past it slowly. I heard a soft click, like a drawer closing. I paused on the stair landing and listened. My heart beat faster than it should have. In the hallway, I saw the guest room door was shut. That door used to stay open. It felt like a wall inside my own home. I went downstairs for water. The kitchen was clean, too clean. On the counter, I saw a sticky note near the mail tray. It said, "Bring forms." There was no name, no context. My throat tightened. I told myself it was for work. I told myself he was just organizing receipts for taxes. I opened a cabinet to grab a glass, and I saw a folder labeled Utilities stacked on top of Bank. That was not where we usually kept folders. I touched the edge of the Bank folder like it might bite me. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself Caleb was just trying to look busy. On my way back upstairs, I stopped at the guest room door. I did not knock. I listened again. I heard a faint beep, then nothing. In bed, I scrolled through Dani's posts and the comments under them. Some people cheered. Some people called me names I did not want to read twice. I clicked away fast and told myself those people were bitter. Down the hall, I heard a soft sound, like paper sliding into a drawer. Then the house went quiet again. I lay there and stared at the ceiling. I told myself I was still right. I told myself Caleb could not punish me with silence forever. And I told myself, even as my stomach churned, that if he was planning something, it only proved he was the villain. The family dinner happened on Thursday, and Dani acted like it was a rescue mission. She texted me all morning and asked if I was ready to stand up. I told her I was always standing. She said I needed witnesses. I liked that idea. Witnesses made my feelings feel like facts. Caleb did not fight the plan. When I told him we were going to dinner with both families, he asked why it had to be both. I said, because he always hid behind calm, and people needed to see it. He asked if Lila had to come. I said Lila was part of the family, and she deserved a normal night. Before we left, I saw Caleb at the kitchen counter with his phone open. He tapped the screen like he was confirming something. A reminder flashed for a second. It said, Harbour Mall, 10:40 a.m. He set the phone down and rinsed his mug. His mug went to one side of the counter again. In the car, Lila asked where we were going. Caleb said we were meeting family for dinner. Lila asked if there would be fries. I said yes, and I tried to sound cheerful. Caleb asked if we could keep it calm for Lila. I said I was not the one who made things tense. The restaurant had one long table set up in the back. The lights were warm, and the room smelled like bread. Pamela was already there, smiling too wide. Dani sat beside her with her phone face down, like she was waiting to flip it over. Howard came in a minute later and looked tired. On Caleb's side, Evelyn and Graham arrived together. Evelyn hugged Lila first. Graham nodded at me like he was being polite for the child. Everyone ordered drinks and food, and for a few minutes we pretended we were normal. Lila coloured on the kids' menu. Caleb helped her with the crayons without talking much. That quiet help made him look good, and I did not like it. Dani started the real talk before the appetizers came. She asked Caleb why he showed up at the club like that. Caleb asked what she meant. Dani said he acted like a warden. Caleb said he came because I asked for a ride. Dani asked why he did not trust me. Caleb said trust was not the same as picking someone up when they asked. Pamela jumped in and said a husband should not watch his wife like a guard. Caleb asked what watching meant. Pamela said his face looked cold. Caleb said his face was his face. Dani laughed and said he always played dumb. I watched Caleb's hands. They stayed still. His jaw tightened once, then relaxed. I pushed harder because I needed him to break. I said he had been punishing me with silence. Caleb asked how silence was punishment. I said he slept in the other room to make me feel guilty. Evelyn said Caleb needed sleep too. I said Evelyn did not know what happened in our house. Evelyn said she knew what she saw online, and she did not like it. That made me feel attacked, so I turned it. I said the online stuff was just a clip and people were dramatic. Graham asked why I kept posting clips that embarrassed my husband. I said I was not responsible for men's feelings. Howard rubbed his forehead and asked if we could stop doing this in a restaurant. Dani said we had to do it now, because Caleb was always planning something. Caleb looked at Dani and asked what she meant by planning. Dani said calm men kept notes. Caleb did not react. He just took a sip of water and asked the waiter for another napkin for Lila, who had spilled a bit of sauce. When the food came, Lila ate 3 bites and then stopped. She asked if everyone was mad. I told her no. Caleb asked Lila if she wanted to sit closer to him. Lila nodded and moved her chair a little. The sound of the chair scraping felt loud. I felt my face heat up. I told myself Caleb was making a show. I said he was trying to look like the hero. Caleb asked why I thought caring for our child was a show. I said he only did it when people were watching. Evelyn said he did it at home too. Pamela rolled her eyes. Dani whispered that Evelyn was biased. I brought up Trent on purpose. I said Trent was just an old friend, and everyone needed to stop acting like I committed a crime. Caleb looked at me and asked if Trent was truly just a friend. I said yes. Caleb asked why I invited him into our marriage space. I said I did not invite him. Life just happened. Caleb asked if I could stop contacting Trent. I said he could not tell me who to talk to. Graham told Caleb not to argue and to focus on Lila. Howard asked me if I understood how this sounded. I said it sounded like everyone wanted to control me. Dani backed me up and said, women always got blamed. Pamela said I should not apologize for being social. Caleb did not raise his voice. He asked if we could keep adult talk away from Lila. Dani said Lila needed to learn truth. Caleb said truth could wait until Lila was not sitting right here. That made a few people go quiet. After dinner, Howard tried to pay early to end the night. Caleb reached for the bill too. Pamela insisted Caleb should pay because he made the mess. I said Caleb should pay because he was the husband. Caleb paid without arguing. That annoyed me more than a refusal. In the parking lot, Dani told me to come back to her place. I said I had to go home for Lila. Pamela asked if I wanted her to take Lila overnight. Caleb said he would take Lila home. Pamela looked surprised, like Caleb had stepped outside his role. I told myself he was being dramatic again. On the drive, Lila fell asleep. Caleb drove slow. The car felt like a quiet box. I wanted to reopen the fight, so I asked why he acted so calm in front of everyone. He asked what calm would look like to me if it was not calm. I said calm was a mask. He said he was trying to be careful. When we stopped at the supermarket for a few things, the checkout line was long. Caleb put detergent, fruit, and Lila's snacks on the belt. I added 2 items for myself. When it was time to pay, Caleb paid for the child items and the household items first. Then he stepped back and waited. The cashier looked at me, and I had to pay for my own things. I asked Caleb if he was trying to embarrass me. He said he was trying to be clear. I said clear was the same as cold. He said cold was not the same as organized. Back at the house, the driveway light turned on. Caleb parked with the car pointed toward the street. He carried Lila inside and laid her gently on her bed. He asked me to keep my voice low because she was asleep. I said he always gave orders. He said he was asking. In the kitchen, I smelled a faint toner smell, like paper had been near a printer. I looked at the counter and saw nothing new, just the usual mail stack and keys. Caleb's keyring had an extra key on it that I did not recognize. I asked what it was for. He said it was for storage. I asked what storage. He said it was better to be prepared. I told him he was acting secretive again. He said he was done performing feelings. I said he was punishing me. He said he was not punishing me, and he was not begging me either. I asked what that meant. He said he would handle everything properly, and he would not do it in front of family or online. I went to work the next morning, like I could outwalk consequences. I wore a clean blouse and my calm face. I told myself the dinner was just noise. I told myself Caleb would cool down, like always. In the office tower lobby, the air smelled like metal and coffee. People moved fast with badges and phones. I checked in at the front desk and waited for HR to call me up. Nina was there too, because she had a shift meeting. She asked if I was okay. I said I was tired of drama and ready to be normal. A man in a plain jacket walked toward me with a folder in his hand. He asked if I was Merricat Blackwood. I said yes. He asked me to confirm my address. I said it was not his business. He said he only needed to verify identity. Security stood a few steps away and watched. The man told me he had legal documents for me. I laughed once like it was a joke. I asked who sent him. He said he could not give advice and he only served papers. I said I would not take anything. He said he could note refusal and service would still count in this setting. Nina's eyes went wide. I took the folder because everyone was looking. My fingers felt stiff. I opened it and saw my name printed in a way that looked too serious for my life. I saw Caleb's name too. My stomach dropped, but I kept my face tight. It said, Caleb filed for divorce. It also said there were temporary orders. I saw words about the house, money, and our child. It said we had to follow a temporary parenting schedule starting today. It said pick-up and drop-off times were set, and changes had to be in writing. It said we had to communicate only about Lila, and only through a clear method, not late-night calls or fights. It said no unusual withdrawals from joint accounts, and no new debt in both names. I told Nina Caleb was trying to control me again. Nina asked if the schedule was real. I said it was just paper. Then my phone buzzed with a calendar alert I did not set. School pickup 3:10 p.m. Under it was a short message from Caleb. He said the schedule was attached in the packet, and he asked me to follow it for Lila. I called him anyway. He answered. and I demanded he come talk. He said we could not talk like that now, and he said the rules were clear. I said he was cruel. He said he was being proper. I said I would tell everyone. He said I already did. The HR coordinator stepped into the lobby and asked if I was ready to come up. I looked down again and saw the line that said, "The temporary schedule starts today." Security kept watching while my hands began to shake.